All right. All right. Listen, hey, it took me a long time to figure out how to start this podcast. I was terribly vexed. Am I right? That's a line from Gladiator. Hey, we went to the theaters this week. I've got a whole thing about why I'm never going again. Hate theaters. I thought this would reignite my love of theaters. It did the opposite. All right. Um, Daniel Ehrenberg over here. Okay. We're going to be talking all the Gladiator you want to hear, all the great fights of the Coliseum and of the minor leagues. You know, he starts as a minor league Gladiator, then gets called up to the big leagues, Coliseum time. All right. They've got different animal every fight. It goes aquatic in the second one. All right. It's very exciting stuff. All right. So Gladiator and Gladiator 2. That's what we're talking about this week. Let me bring in my co host, Logan Adair. Logan, how was your trip to see Gladiator 2?
It was great. I didn't hate my experience in the movie theater too much. It was weirder when I went to see Nora last week. I guess we'll talk about that on Hey I'm Watching Here. That was pretty funny. But I had a great time. I sat down, people no there were no babies. I don't know what you went through or anything,
I
but
I I went through so much, Logan.
yeah,
So
tell
it,
me
it was
about
it
it.
was an ordeal.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I
For
guess we'll save that for the second
Yeah, we'll
half.
save it for the second part. But did you see the trailer for that movie where Robbie Williams is a monkey?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
What is going on with these biopics now? We had Pharrell as a Lego, and now Robbie Williams is a monkey. Is it just a way to get them to play themselves in a movie without forcing them to act?
Yeah, I do think the Pharrell thing was like we can get all these people without having them be on screen. It'll be a lot easier to do a movie Lego style.
But also Pharrell can star.
Right. He couldn't do that otherwise.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. It's a weird trend, and but at least that one, like, it seemed like it was having fun. Like this Robbie Williams one, it looked like a serious biopic. It was like Bohemian Rhapsody or something, except he's a monkey.
What's wrong with Sirius?
The monkey is inherently insane. All right. So I was like watching the trailer, looking around me, like, is no one else seeing this trailer? Why aren't we all rising up right now? And like the whole theater is just like, what is this? What am
Uh,
I looking
So
at right
you hated your
now?
theater experience because they didn't hate the trailer as much as you,
But
is
I,
what I'm
I
hearing.
I also think they just don't know who Robbie Williams is. Like in America, he wasn't as big as he was in the UK. So like I feel like it was an entire theater of people going like, "There's a movie with a monkey. Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
But
New
uh,
character.
new character, right? But I was like, no, I remember that song Millennium. That was a big hit for a second there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure when we're in the theater, it'll all click for us. We'll be like, oh, this
Yeah,
is about a real guy. Oh shit.
I don't know that everyone here knows him. I think they're
I don't
going
think so
for
either.
UK cash with that one, cash with a K.
Why?
Well, because UK. Hey, listen, uh, listeners, viewers of our comp piece episodes know that I'm best with a blue pen, and
Oh, that's true.
so I have it today. I'll be gesturing your way with it.
I have
Um,
this great tribal council Sharpie right here.
mm-hmm,
I did.
mm-hmm.
I wrote this down with that, by the way. So
How you gonna
works
spell
wonders.
Sonia?
Sonja.
No, I think it should be Souna, like Sue Hawk.
Sonia?
So that's how Sue Hawk spelled Sonia.
What an idiot.
I
She thinks
know.
all
Well,
names are her name.
I guess. All right, listen. Gladiator. It's Ridley Scott time.
Yeah. We covered him
Look,
before, by the way.
we have
Well,
look,
you and Henry did him a lot with the aliens. But we
and
did him
Blade Runner.
with Hannibal,
Oh, and we did
just like
Hannibal.
last
That's
year.
right. He's a franchise all-star, Ridley Scott.
He really is. And Blade
Yeah,
Runner, of course. Did you say that? Did you say
I
that?
did. I said it.
No, no.
All right, so let's you want to start off with the Ridley Scott ranking?
Oh, we can do that right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it right off the bat.
Okay.
Right off jump. All
Okay.
right.
Before I'm gonna have to kick this cat out immediately.
Oh my god.
It's not gonna work out. It's going
You've
crazy.
gotten up. Literally, I have been talking to Logan for 10 minutes and he has gotten up from sitting. I would say conservatively four times already.
about to be five.
All right, so let's I've seen 27 Ridley Scott movies. That
Okay.
might be all of them. No, I've never seen White Squall.
No, I think I counted them, and I think that there's about 30 or
Okay.
29. I think
Yeah, so I missed a couple.
couple. We'll get to it. 1492. You see that one?
I've seen it.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll get to it then.
We watched in school. In high school, we watched that
Oh,
movie. I think twice.
that's a long
Uh
time.
yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do? Show us Christopher Columbus the Discovery? Now that was an and twins situation, Logan. 1492 came out the same year as another movie called Christopher Columbus the Discovery,
Okay.
and it was dueling Columbus films.
Who was the other Columbus?
I want to say Gerard Depardieu. I
No,
might not be
that's
right
this
about
one.
that.
That's this one.
Oh, that's this one?
Yeah, that's the Ridley Scott one.
Shit. All right. I'll look it up.
Okay. Did you add Gladiator 2 to the list, by the way?
Yeah, I
Trying to
did.
think about what you might have not seen. Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Yeah, I never saw that one. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
All right. So Columbus was played by a no-name French guy, but it had Tom Selleck as King Ferdinand and Marlon Brando as a different guy. And it was written by Mario Puzo. What a weird
Oh wow.
movie. Yeah. All right. Anyway, here's the Ridley Scott rankings.
Okay.
Where are you going to come in?
I'm gonna ask you a question, okay? What's 9 plus 10?
21.
Good job. I'll come in at 21.
All right. Number 27, I have 1492 Conquest of
Oh wow,
Paradise.
really?
Yeah, yeah. 26, Someone to Watch Over Me. All right. 25, Robin Hood. There's never been a good Robin Hood movie. Keep it. Well, Errol Flynn's all right. All right. 24, Kingdom of Heaven. I've never seen the extended cut that people say is good, but I don't want to.
Is
All right.
is Robin Hood a thing we could do ever?
It's always the same exact story.
But
Like
there's never been a Robin Hood 2?
I don't know. This one was a prequel. Ridley
Okay.
Scott's Robin
I
Hood's
think
an
we could do it then.
origin story. I guess we technically can, but who wants to? Who wants Robin Hood? It's so boring. All right. 24, Kingdom of Heaven. 23, Body of Lies. 22, A Good Year. I was like at the beginning of A Good Year, it says instead of like 5 years later, it says 5 vintages later because it's about wineries,
That's pretty good.
right? That's good.
Mhm.
Um,
20
21.
21, you want to go first or second?
You could come in.
All right. Well, I remember watching this one in school. Robin Hood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You watched that in school?
Like my seventh
What are
grade, one of my seventh grade
Alabama
classes. We weren't
schools
doing
doing?
anything. Put on Robin Hood.
Jeez. All right. 21 for me is Hannibal.
Oh, that's my 20.
Oh, okay. 20, G.I. Jane. Because
Okay.
I love G.I. Jane. It's like a feminist movie. It's like we got the first Navy SEAL, first female Navy SEAL. She's gonna go through all the paces. But Ridley Scott, he's an entertainer. So he's like, we could do that, but let's give her huge fake tits, baby.
I don't think that that's what happened. I think that they just cast who would be good in the role, and Demi Moore happened to have fake
Yeah,
breasts.
yeah, yeah.
Is what it was.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. When I saw your review, I was like, sure, he's not going to bring this up on the podcast. Why would he? And then he
I,
did.
I that's all I think about when I think of G.I. Jane.
Here's my take on GIG. We'll get to it anyway. My number 19 is Body of Lies. I think I like a lot of these movies more than you. Maybe.
Okay. My number 19 is House of Gucci.
Yeah, I do like a lot of these more than you. 18, Gladiator 2.
All right. 18, I have Legend.
I haven't seen it. 17, American Gangster.
17, Alien Covenant.
Oh wow. 16 is Black Hawk Down.
16, The Martian.
15, GI Jane. Here's what I have to say. I mean, we'll talk about Hell and Hey I'm watching here because I just watched it. But I think that's the most Tony Scott Like if I hadn't seen, if I didn't know who directed that movie and I just watched it and someone said who directed this movie, I would say Tony Scott,
Wait,
which is
which one are
weird.
you talking about?
G.I. Jane.
Yeah, G.I.
That's
Jane.
very Tony Scott.
I feel that way about Black Rain too. I feel like Black Rain is kind of Tony Scottish.
I haven't seen that one. But even down to Vigo in a US Navy, that's Crimson Tide. And that's a Tony
Good
Scott
point.
movie.
Good point.
But I kept thinking, even like the way it's shot, especially the last 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Anyway, so number
pretty
15.
kinetic. 15, that's where I have Black Rain.
Okay. 14, I have The Counselor, which you'll have a lot higher.
Yeah, 14, Gladiator II.
All right. 13, The Martian.
13, All the Money in the World.
All right. Didn't see that one. 12, Alien Covenant.
12, American Gangster.
All right. 11, Prometheus.
11, Matchstick Men.
Oh. 10 is House of Gucci.
10, Blade Runner.
It makes long movies. Blade Runner. Ooh.
Yeah.
Number 9. This is underrated. I gotta say. Someone to Watch Over Me. Watched it last night. I liked
Really?
it. It's good.
What did I think of it? It's what is it even about? I don't remember it very well.
So at the beginning of the movie, her friend gets killed, and they put a detective on watch, or they put a lot of detectives on watch of this woman. And Tom Berenger is
Oh
watching
yeah.
Mimi Rogers, but and he has a family with Sopranos. What's her name? Melfi,
Edie,
Melfi.
Bracco.
Yeah, Lorraine Bracco, and you love her, so you don't want him to cheat on his wife at all.
Yeah.
But him and Mimi Rogers are so good together, you kind of
They're
do.
not. I think that was my problem. Is like
I
they're
think they're
not
both so
that
hot.
good together.
I think,
I wasn't there.
oh, you didn't. I kind of like it, and I was very impressed by him. I didn't really
Like
know
it's
him that
Mimi
well.
Rogers, bro. Get it together. Do your job.
She's
Don't
pretty
cheat
hot.
on your wife. She's all right.
I agree. Don't cheat on
You
your
got
wife.
Bracco at home.
But it
Not like
ended.
Mimi Rogers is that amazing. Listen, I understand risking it
Oh,
all for like the greatest, like the hottest shit you've ever seen in your life, but it's just Mimi Rogers.
but that's the problem with Fatal Attraction. Is his wife is hotter than the
But
Glenn
Glenn
Close.
Close has a wild energy about her, and she comes in and it's like she's so slutty and sexy. And it's
She
like
is like the
I
first
might,
meeting together. There,
yeah, it's like I might have to. But like Mimi Rogers is just like some lady.
and the guy in Fatal Attraction is like his home life sucks. She's like, take out the trash like at midnight or whatever, and he has a
Right,
kid
right.
who was like annoying or whatever.
Yeah.
They do a good job with that, but I don't know. Someone watch it, guys. I think it's
All
good.
right. What number was that?
That was number 14. 9. That was 9. My bad.
What the fuck? Number 9 for me is Black Hawk Down.
Black. Did you say Black Cock Down?
That's right.
Oh, interesting. My
Mhm.
number 8 is Napoleon.
My number 8 is Thelma as well as Louise.
That's pretty low, or maybe I just have it really high. I was impressed. 7, Blade Runner.
7, Gladiator.
6, Matchstick Men.
6, Napoleon.
I like it. 5, The Duelists, his very first film.
Love that
Awesome
movie.
movie.
Yeah, great. 5 for me is Prometheus.
4, Gladiator.
4, The Counselor.
Wow, The Counselor. 3, I'm gonna put The Last Duel at number 3.
I love the last two. I love that we both have it high.
Yeah, that's
My,
very
my
good, guys.
I think all his best movies are about duels or aliens.
Okay.
All right. Number 3 for me is The Duelists.
I mean, I would mostly agree, but number 2, I have Thelma and Louise.
All right, all right. 2 for me is The Last Duel.
And number 1, one of the easier number
Alien.
ones of any
Yeah, yeah,
director. He
yeah.
made Alien.
He really nailed it with that one.
Yeah, should have stopped working. No, just kidding.
No,
He really
missed
makes all
out.
sorts of movies, though. He doesn't have like a style as much as I thought he did.
He has a style. Like his movies all kind of feel similar, but his
Not all
topics,
of them.
like his subjects, are wildly different. You know what he's following up Gladiator 2 with?
No idea.
He's making a biopic about the Bee Gees.
Wow, does that interest
Yeah,
you?
I mean,
Are they
yes and
monkeys?
no. No,
If they're not,
see,
I'm not
that's the
interested.
thing. No, I think he got all the cartoon monkeys out of his system with
True.
Gladiator
They're
2.
sharks. He makes them sharks in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
couldn't believe there were sharks in Gladiator too.
that is the
That was mind
weirdest.
blowing.
Yeah. How'd they get those sharks there? They've got like they captured them at sea, then like what, tied them to a boat, and
Glass tanks. You put them in tanks. You
you think they
transport
have
them.
glass tanks on those boats? They would have to have gone out specifically to look for sharks. I mean,
I don't know.
and then like they flood the Coliseum. It all comes out of those lions' mouths. And I was like, who set up that contraption? Just for this one
Marcus
thing?
Aurelius a long time ago.
But how often are we flooding the Coliseum to have boat battles?
I'm sure it's happened a lot between then and now. It seemed like they'd perfected it,
It went off without a hitch.
so it's at least like 50 times.
Mhm. It was like the opposite of Will Smith's career. Went off without a hitch.
Yeah, he got one of those in there.
Yeah, he had one of those. All right. So let's get into Gladiator. It was originally conceived in 1972. All
Wow,
right.
that's a long time
Yeah,
ago.
this fella David Franzoni, he was trekking across Europe. All right, and he was seeing all these arenas and shit, and he was like, God, that would be a good movie. And so he started writing that movie in 1972. And it just sort of like sat on his shelf for a long time. And then he became a Hollywood screenwriter. He wrote Jumpin' Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg. And then he got the opportunity to write Amistad,
Okay.
Steven Spielberg's Amistad. So then, like, he's got a deal now with DreamWorks, and Spielberg is a fan of his. So he's like, why not pitch my old Gladiator script? And so he does. Spielberg's like, it's pretty good. Pretty good. All
It'd been
right.
a long time since one of these movies too, right?
Yeah. They didn't really do these anymore.
Yeah.
So let's make it. Let's have I'll have DreamWorks make it for you. We'll put the little boy in the moon right at the front of the movie. And so he's like, great. That's awesome. So they bring in Ridley Scott to direct. Ridley loves the concept, the whole story, but he doesn't like Franzoni's dialogue. So he brings in John Logan to rewrite. And then they bring in William Nicholson to write more.
Mhm.
I think it's like make the Maximus character more likable or something. Like
Okay.
I
They did
think
a good job.
Nicholson added all his family dying. That was his big idea.
I have a lot of questions when it comes to like the reveal of the second movie and everything.
Well, me
I mean, I'm
too.
sure everyone does watching it. Like, it's very weird.
It doesn't really make sense.
No.
No. Okay. So that's why we have three writing credits on this film: David Franzoni, John Logan, and William Nicholson. We also have two studios involved because DreamWorks, wanted to hedge their bets. It's an expensive film, and they hadn't made one of these in a while, so they bring in Universal. They co-finance, and then DreamWorks distributes it in America. Universal distributes it in overseas, and they split the profits.
Interesting. Does that happen a
Mm-hmm.
lot these days?
Not so much these days, but it was happening a lot then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind
we
of
were
cool.
doing that a fair amount. Yeah. Um, it comes out May 5th, 2000. So they had high hopes for it. It's like that opening May weekend. That's like when you start putting out your big shit.
Hmm.
Um, and it has a $103 million budget, and it made $465.5 million.
Wow.
That is a big hit. It becomes the number four biggest movie of 2000. Number five is What Women Want. Then this three, Mission Impossible 2, two, Castaway, one, Grinch. It's amazing
Grinch.
how like back then we were still, it was movie stars. That's why we were going to see movies.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like
Jim
five,
Carrey's The Grinch. Let's go.
Mel Gibson, uh
Cruise.
Cruise, Crow, Hanks, Carey. those are what the movies we want to go see.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah, yeah. Um, this was nominated for and won a shit ton of awards. So can we get through it?
We can. I have a little trivia thing though for
Mhm.
you. This is the eighth best picture winner we've that you've covered on the podcast. I wasn't here the whole time. How many can you name?
It's crazy to me that there are eight Best
That's what I
Picture winners
thought.
that have sequels.
Right. When I was thinking, I was like, well, there will probably be five, 4 or 5.
Yeah. All right. Silence of the Lambs.
Yep.
Um, Jesus. Is that the only one I could think of?
There's one of after Gladiator, post Gladiator.
Um, I don't know.
Return of the King.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Return of the King.
So that and Silence of the Lambs and this. That's 3 of 8. No, you can't think of any more?
Give me a second. Can you cut it out if I take a long time?
Yeah, I guess so.
Um,
Lot from the 70s.
70s, eh?
Yeah.
Godfather.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
That's
hmm.
4.
I I don't know.
Godfather Part 2.
Oh,
That one
oh,
best picture as well.
right. That fucked me
Did
up.
we tell you the other ones?
Yeah, yeah. What are the
The
other
French
ones?
Connection,
Right.
Rocky, Terms
Mm-hmm.
of Endearment.
Terms of Endearment. That's right.
That's the
The
8 best
Evening
picture
Star.
winners.
Boop, 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 boop. I had to memorize that for the show, and I still remember it to this day.
I'm very proud of you. Why'd you have to
Yeah.
remember it?
I thought it would be fun if I hummed the score a lot in that episode, and and it stuck with me.
Was it fun? Were you right about that?
I think it was. I think that's a good episode.
How did Henry feel? Was he annoyed about it?
No, no, I feel like people like that episode. I remember a girl I told about the podcast listened to that. It was her first episode. I was real nervous about, but she thought it was really good.
Okay.
And then I got laid, so she wasn't lying.
Wow, holy shit, that's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
impressive. I have not seen either of those movies, so that's not one I've ever gone back to. But I'm sure I listened once.
Once,
So there you go. They should
like
make once
Glenn
too.
Hansard and Mark Cade Glova. All right, yeah. What do you call it twice?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Here the Oscars. This thing won Best Picture. You just said it. It also won Best Actor. Russell Crowe. He has an Oscar trophy on his shelf.
2 of them. He wins the
What?
next year, doesn't he? Beautiful Mind.
Oh, that's right.
Does he
God,
win back that he does the Hanks thing?
I think he did. Yeah.
That's impressive.
It also wins for visual effects, sound, costumes.
Fair, fair, fair.
Mm-hmm. Ridley Scott was nominated for Best Director, but he lost to Steven Soderbergh for Traffic. Soderbergh
Oh,
was double nominated that year, also
right.
nominated for Aaron Brockovich.
Rokovich.
Yeah.
What do you think? I've not seen. Weirdly, I've not seen either of those movies. By the way, I saw a trailer when I was watching Anora for a new Steven Soderbergh movie, and I was watching the trailer and I was like, "Is this Skinamarink 2?" And then at the end, it
Uh,
was like directed by Steven Soderbergh, and I was like, "What the fuck?" He's doing a Skinamarink movie.
he's making corners.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. But what do you, who
Wow.
should have won Best Director? Because Ridley's never won, has he?
I don't think so.
I mean, you should have won for Alien, but if you can't win there,
No,
this is
you
probably the
can't.
spot.
They're not going to give it to a sci-fi movie ever. But I don't know. What about The Martian? He was nominated for a bunch of shit for that.
I mean, he didn't win.
No,
No way.
I don't know. I'd give it to Soderbergh.
Okay, that's people. A lot of people say that's his best one.
Traffic?
Yeah, I've heard that. You don't think
It's
so?
not. I don't think it's his best one.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah, or no. I think he never topped the first one. Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Straight up.
Yeah, you say that. That's
Yeah,
fine. I gotta rewatch it.
yeah. All right. So Oh, right, Oscars. Joaquin Phoenix, he was nominated for supporting actor, lost to Benicio del Toro for Traffic. Screenplay, they lost to Almost Famous. Score, they lost to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and also art direction and cinematography at Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and editing, they lost to Traffic. Boom.
Okay. Big Oscars.
Yeah. Golden Globes, it won Best Drama and Best Score. He lost director this time to Ang Lee. Joaquin lost to Del Toro again. Crow lost to Hanks in Castaway. And that's it. BAFTAs. Play that theme. One cinematography, editing, production design, and best film of the year. And it lost visual effects to The Perfect Storm. I like to think about British people watching The Perfect Storm. Like, oh, look at those visual effects. Those Boston fishermen. All
Yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah. And what else? Costumes, it lost to Crouching Tiger. Makeup and hair, it lost to The Grinch. This what blew my mind. Russell Crowe lost the BAFTA for Best Actor to Jamie Bell for Billy Elliot.
Wow, little boy beat
The
him?
little boy. That must have infuriated Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
Russell
really.
Crowe at this time had like the biggest ego in the world. Remember, he like punched out that TV producer because they cut out his poem.
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
He's this is post stealing Meg Ryan from what's his
Dennis
face?
Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, right?
Yeah, yeah. He had the biggest ego on the planet, and he's losing to a little boy. Like, I'm surprised Russell Crowe didn't beat the shit out of Jamie Bell.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
This is by the way post The Insider where he's like kind of fat,
Oh yeah, he
right?
gained weight for the
And now
Insider.
he's like in like the best shape anyone's ever been in for a movie. Like not like looking like The Rock or whatever, but very impressive. He did like a Christian Bale type thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Transformation. He can do it.
Yeah.
But then he gained weight and was never able to lose it again.
This is all a
Um,
bit though. He's just it's a long con.
I hope so. All right, so they nominated Joaquin Phoenix and Oliver Reed posthumously
Right.
for supporting actor. They both lost to Benicio. He was fucking sweeping that year. Screenplay lost Almost Famous. Sound lost Almost Famous because it's music, and director they lost to Ang Lee. Moving on, I've got Saturn Awards.
Okay.
All right, the X-Men, the first X-Men movie swept the Saturn Awards that year.
That's cool. I like
That
that.
was mind-blowing. So it was nominated for Best Action Movie. It lost to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But then Russell Crowe lost Best Actor to Hugh Jackman. They lost costumes, director, and writing, all to X-Men.
It's pretty absurd.
Insane.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter.
Blockbuster Entertainment Awards. Love to talk about this one. Russell Crowe, he won Best Actor in an action movie. It's all separated by genre because that's how blockbusters were separated. All right.
Good point.
Digimon Hansu.
Digimon, yeah.
Yeah, he was nominated for supporting actor in an action movie. He lost to Bill Murray for playing Bosley in Charlie's Angels.
Oh
All right.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. And Connie Nielsen was nominated for supporting actress in an action movie, and she lost to Lucy Liu. You might think for Charlie's Angels, you'd be wrong. It was for Shanghai Noon.
Oh wow, she was really at the top of her game
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
point.
wow,
Is
tearing it
Connie
up.
Nielsen good? I feel like she's a person I heard of, but never really knew that well.
I
I
I
didn't
thought
love her
she
in
was
two.
yeah, I thought she was kind of bad in two.
Yeah, maybe possible
What
LVP for two.
happened? What happened with Takani?
We've talked about some people they lose it if they're
And
not
she's
on it
like
all the
the
time.
only female character in the entire movie.
His wife dies at the beginning.
I'm talking about the second one.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait,
Remember,
what?
he has a wife
Oh,
too.
she's in one scene. She like
It's the same as the Crow's
she's
wife.
battling
She's
in
just in
a
flashbacks.
I
She
know.
like Mescal's wife is in more of the movie than Crow's wife.
I guess that's true. And they tried to make her like, since we don't have any female characters in the movie, she's our strong female character. Like
Yeah,
she's a woman warrior. She could go to war with Paul Mescal.
and die
Russell
immediately
Crowe's wife was left back at home.
with the
But
boy.
but Mescal's lady, she was battling until she got hit in the heart with an arrow.
I sort of hated Crow's family, the look of his family. I don't
The
know.
look of his
They didn't
family.
look like a nice. They didn't look like they meshed well. Crow with that woman with that little boy. I didn't
Are you
get it.
kidding me? They spent all their days just roaming through the wheat fields,
Yeah, of
pushing their
course.
hands along
I
the
forgot about
wheat.
that.
Yeah,
It's
it was
a big part of the
nice.
movies.
Big part. We are always cutting back to that hand on the wheat fields. I was like, what am I looking at here? A Terrence Malick film?
Yeah, yeah.
Terrence Malick would have been like, cut out all the Coliseum battles. Let's get more shots of hands going through wheat.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I
Yeah,
did you not? I mean, I got not to go to the second movie, but I got pretty emotional when the wife died, and they cut to that part where like the Grim Reapers come out on the
I
raft and
hated
take.
that
You
shit.
hated that? I was like,
Yeah.
this is good. This like really got me.
No, see, at the beginning, like I for the first
Should we wait? Should we?
for about 20 minutes of Gladiator 2, maybe a half hour, I was like, I think this movie is terrible.
Oh,
It's
I
just
really like
straight
that
up
part.
terrible. And then it grew on me as it went on. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he because we see the thing with the Grim
And
Reaper,
it's black and
and
white.
yeah, I know, and we're doing afterlife shit, which is fine. I know we did in the first one,
I thought
but
it was
then
cool.
also like then I thought we were done with it, but then we also had to see Paul Mescal like randomly find his wife's body in the water and
Right.
like
Yeah.
cry over it and shit, and he gives a big no.
Yeah. That was unnecessary. We already got finality to that. I thought,
Hey,
but I mean,
can
that
I?
was her spirit leaving. Got to find her body. You know.
Is Paul Mescal good in this movie?
I mean, yeah, we can't say he's not like. Is he good in this movie? I guess that's the
I
question.
don't think so.
Let's wait. Let's wait.
I think Russell Crowe's a movie star. This fucking guy is not. Go back to your little dramas.
Yeah, fine, fine. That's fine. He's
Mm-hmm.
asked to be Russell Crowe, and he's not Russell Crowe. But nobody is. That is the
He's
thing.
not even close though. He's
Who
not even
today could
close.
do?
You don't think there's somebody that could do it?
I don't think anybody, especially
There's
nobody young. Tom Hardy, but he's old. Like
yeah.
Tom Hardy when he was Russell Crowe could have done it. Like when he was that age. Like,
You can't grime up Powell, grime him up,
no, he's too pretty.
beard him up.
No. And
No.
he's too like he works out on like I don't know.
What about Driver? Adam Driver.
Would you that maybe. I kind of like that.
Okay. Uh oh, here. MTV. Let's hear the MTV theme.
I want my MTV.
Good. All right. It actually won Best Movie at the
No
MTV
way.
Movie Awards, but it didn't win any of its other categories. It lost Best Action Sequence with the war at the beginning. It lost that to Mission Impossible 2. Um, Crow also lost Best Actor to Tom Cruise for Mission Impossible 2. Imagine rewarding Tom Cruise for Mission Impossible 2 for his acting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He had cool
Uh,
hair.
oh, coolest hair. That category, give it to him all day.
Doesn't
Yeah.
exist though. So
Yeah, so I guess you gotta give him best actor just to
mhm.
acknowledge the hair.
Right.
Um, best fight it lost to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is ironic because I believe he was also fighting a tiger in the
Mm.
action sequence in the fight he was nominated for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know
Wasn't enough though.
the guy who's like the undefeated Coliseum guy who's got like a tiger mask on.
Right.
He was the security guard in Mallrats.
Really?
Yeah, LaFours.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I spotted him immediately. I was like, "What's up, LaFours? You're fighting in the Coliseum?"
Is this the first time you ever noticed that? Or did you ever watch Mallrats and you're like, oh, that's the guy from Gladiator?
Oh no, I never put it together. The same guy. I like when I watch Mallrats. I'm like, "There's that guy. He used to be in a lot of action movies and shit, like in the '80s and '90s." But now he's a guy
Now
in
you know.
Gladiator. Yeah. All right. And best villain Joaquin Phoenix lost to the Grinch.
That's crazy.
I know. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's talk about how does Gladiator start? Remind me. Oh, the hand. Right. Right.
And over the wheat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Malik. He's loving it.
Yep. And then there's like
Malik's
a
like,
battle.
he just put out the Thin Red Line like a year or two earlier. He was like, God damn, why didn't I think about that? I
When
should
is
have
he
had a
really
hand and
wheat
wheat.
heavy? Tree of Life? What's his
Tree
really?
of Life so wheat heavy, bro.
It's just
And
pit and wheat.
it, oh my God. Wheat might as well have second billing in Tree of Life. And I feel like there's a lot of wheat maybe in Days of Heaven too.
Okay, yeah. I think the poster is like a
But
house in wheat.
yeah, I think like the Criterion DVD cover is just wheat.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. But yeah, I thought it worked here.
Yeah. Yeah. It was nice. Nice wheat shot.
Yeah, we're
Um,
following this guy Maximus. He's pretty cool, right?
well,
Played by Russell
he's
Crowe.
got a whole long name, as he
Maximus
tells us
Decimus
later.
Meridius.
Wow, good job.
Oh
I
yeah.
never could have pulled that.
Well, I looked at it earlier. So.
Yeah, but he's a guy. He's in charge of the. I mean, not in charge, but he's like a higher up
He's like a
in the.
general at the
Yeah,
beginning.
in the Roman army. Like he's really respected. He's the guy calling the shots. All
Right.
right, they're fighting in battles, and he's like, "Hey, you fuckers, you go."
Yeah.
All
Pedro
right,
Pascal is like his role at the start of the other movie, but he never gets turned into a slave gladiator,
that's right, right. He
basically.
doesn't get gladiatored in the same way that Russell Crowe
He
does.
just gets killed. He just gets his head lopped off.
Oh, yeah, and all those arrows.
Oh yeah, that's
He gets
true.
arrowed heavily.
Right, right.
Yeah, heavily arrowed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like Stephen Amell. All right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, fucking Crow. So he's doing a great job, and he
Yeah.
wins. He wins the war. Marcus Aurelius, she comes up. He's like,
I love
hey,
you,
yeah,
Maximus.
Maximus, amazing job on winning the war. Thank you.
Alas, earwax. Oh wait,
Oh
that's
yeah,
Dumbledore.
yeah. He's Dumbledore, Marcus
Dumbledore.
Aurelius. That was sort of mind blowing. I was looking at Oliver Reed later in the movie, and
Mm-hmm.
he died while making this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking if he survived a couple more years, they would have popped him in a Harry Potter.
Oh, for sure. He definitely would have been there. I don't know who he would have been.
Yeah.
But I never knew that really that Dumbledore was this guy, Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah,
I always
Marcus
forgot about that.
Aurelius. Yeah.
So next time I watch Harry Potter, I'll be like, Commodus cannot be the next emperor. Because that's like was the whole thing in this movie.
Yeah.
So now I'll get him conflated all the time now.
Yeah. See,
He really had a run. He was like he's a legend.
he got murdered by both Joaquin Phoenix and Severus Snape.
Well, technically.
I know he was already dead by the time that
Yeah,
movie was made.
technically. I
I
guess
get it.
so.
But when I read the books, I always pictured him as Dumbledore, even in the later books.
Wow. Even like when that guy was already cast.
Yeah, yeah. Richard Harris, that's my Dumbledore.
What's that other guy's name?
Michael
Oh
Gambon.
yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
He's cool.
No, he is good. I got no beef with that, but I just I'd already started with Richard Harris, and
Yeah.
he's not dead in my head.
No.
He can still perform great.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
But he's
So
great
anyway,
here.
he's good. Oh, and so he's like, Russell Crowe,
I love you more than my son.
I love you so much more than my son.
And his son's
But
over there like watching the whole
yeah,
interaction.
my son fucking sucks.
And he loves my daughter. And he
He's
should
obs-
stop doing
he
that.
wants to fuck my daughter and fuck over my kingdom. So I can't let him. You hear me? I'm seconds from death.
Well, he
I've
dies
got to
by
decide
he doesn't die
what's
of natural
happening.
causes.
I know, but it's happening soon.
Regardless if he kills me or not. I have months to live.
So let me tell you, when I die, it will not be Commodus, my son, taking over. He can just go fuck off and jerk off to his sister all he wants. I don't care. It'll be you, Maximus. You, my favorite general, you will lead Rome. All
He really says that,
right.
like you were the son that I should have had, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the line.
So Maximus is like he's humble, so he's like I can't, I simply can't, and he's like no, you'll do it, and he's like all right. So you know, so that makes Crow's journey even tougher in this movie because then that night, Joaquin Phoenix strangles his father to death, and since he never told anybody this was happening,
Yeah.
it was like, uh, I guess we'll just make comedy. He's that next in line.
Yeah, Maximus can't just be like, well, he told me that night that I was going to be the king. They'll be like,
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I feel
They
like I've
might
seen
believe him.
this.
They might be like, yeah, that does seem like something he would say. Commodus isn't right to be king.
That happened in Friends once. I
Yeah.
remember like Rachel got promoted at her job, and then her boss died, but
Whoa.
hadn't told anybody about the promotion yet.
That's a fun plot.
Yeah, that's the fun. It's just like Gladiator. Gladiator
Yeah.
ripped it off. And then
Well, they started
so
writing it in the 70s, who said.
good point. Good point, man. But who knows? I don't know whether John Logan or William Nicholson came up with that.
Yeah. So we'll assume Friends came up with it first.
I got it. Listen, I saw it first on Friends, so they came up with it first.
All right.
All right.
Fair enough.
Um. Now, what happens? Oh, so then he
Then they go to
gets
kill him.
right. He gets gladiated. He falls into slavery.
Right.
Right.
Well,
And
first of all, the part where they go take him off to go kill him was crazy. I don't know how he escaped from there. They were like had the sword like about to kill him, and he like headbutted the guy. Like there's a I don't know how he got out from
well,
that.
he set it up. He kind of like made him look dumb because he coaxed him in closer, and
Yeah,
then
but there
and
was a
then he,
sword on his neck.
I know, but this guy, I mean Maximus, he's awesome.
But sword through in the neck is what ends up killing him. Like I don't know. I feel like that's his only weakness, but it doesn't kill him there.
He doesn't have any weaknesses.
All right, we'll ignore it. But
Yeah.
when I was watching it, I was like, what the hell?
All right.
Anyway, but he escapes and then gets turned into a gladiator.
Right. A slave. And so
Oh, he
first
finds his family, first of all. They're
oh
dead.
right, right. He goes to his family and finds them dead. It's just like the scene in Star Wars where Luke
Yeah.
finds his aunt and uncle.
But
And
instead of all charred up, they're hanged.
oh yeah.
Like they're burned in Star Wars. This one they're hanged.
Right. And they're in amidst sand in Star Wars, where as they're amidst wheat in
Mm-hmm.
Gladiator. Now, so he goes to fight in the slave minor leagues, and he's in like a little coliseum, a little mini coliseum,
That's where we
right?
meet Digimon.
That's where we meet Digimon. That's where we meet Oliver Reed, and then he gets called up to the majors.
Right. He's
All right,
like
because he's
Bronny going
really
from the G
good.
League to the NBA.
Yeah,
G League
yeah.
stands for Gladiator League. I don't know if you guys know
Except
that.
except Bronny, Maximus got there by merit. All right, he was just such a good gladiator he could no longer be denied, whereas Bronny, his daddy, was in charge.
His father's LeBron James.
Yeah, yeah,
You guys heard of him?
yeah. I bet you have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Uh, he was in Space Jam too. We could cover him on the podcast.
Oh man. With
Yeah.
Tim. Tim's been wanting to do that one.
Yeah, the serververse. He's obsessed with the serververse. But so he goes to fight in the majors. That's the Colosseum, the Roman
The
Colosseum.
Spaniard, that's his nickname.
Right, right. But he brands himself gladiator. It's maybe the
I am
greatest.
Spartacus.
Maybe gladiator is the best use of a dude saying the title of the movie in the movie.
No way.
Because he doesn't just say I am gladiator. He
It's
says
face off.
my name is
His face
gladiator.
off. Face off. His face off. That's the best one.
That is
When they
pretty
do
good.
face off.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
There's got to be like a list of the best times they said the title in the movie.
Probably.
This can't be number one.
It's up there. My name is Gladiator. It's so insane. It's a crazy thing to say. Like he'd never say it if he didn't know that was the name of the movie about him.
Well, they are gladiators.
But like they all are. What makes
But
him?
he's the top guy.
He's the Spaniard.
The best basketball player always says, "I am basketball player."
No, they don't.
At the end of every game.
It's never once happened.
The best player of every game always says that. When they interview the best player, they end the interview, "I am basketball player," and then they walk into the tunnel.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky still. I mean, he hasn't been usurped. He walks around all the time. I am hockey guy.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
Gladiator. I don't
Mm.
know. Are you gonna have issue with that, or you're just pointing it out?
I just think it's hilarious. I forgot that he says my name is Gladiator.
Yeah.
In my head, it was always I am Gladiator, and I was like, I guess that's all right. It's like a superhero kind of a thing. But he says my name is Gladiator. It's like, no, it's not, bro. It's straight up not.
When he does that a lot, because then he has the part later on where he goes, "My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius,
Right,
father
right.
to a
This fucker's
murdered son."
all about announcing himself to the world.
Yeah, but I love that part. Husband to a murdered wife, and I'll have my
Yeah.
vengeance in this life or the next. That's like the best part of the whole movie.
I read that Crow hated that line. He didn't want to say it.
What?
And yeah, DreamWorks had to convince him.
That's awesome. That's why not?
Just the part about I will have my revenge in this life or the next.
That's awesome.
I know it is awesome.
That's like the guy from The Princess Bride, right?
Oh
What
yeah.
does he keep saying? Like his
Huh.
dad. My name is Tony Montana. What's that guy's name? Well,
Carrie Elwes.
no, the guy from The Princess Bride, who's always got his freaking sword.
Yeah, I mean I know the line you're talking about. Look it up.
Yeah.
It's got to be like the first in quotes on Princess Bride on IMDb.
Oh, Inigo Montoya. My name is Inigo
Right,
Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
right. He says that a few times, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's like that a little bit,
Yeah.
which I
It's like
love. I love when people have that when they're just like living for one purpose. They want to do it.
yeah.
Or like when there's someone in the Royal Rumble who eliminates someone and then leaves right after because they don't care
Yeah,
about winning. They
I
just
was only here to fuck you up, Macho Man.
yeah, fuck yeah, I love that.
Yeah. All right. So where are we now? Oh, so he's fighting.
Yep.
Joaquin Phoenix is in charge of what's going on there at the Coliseum.
He has a nephew.
He does one of these a
Oh
lot.
yeah, classic.
Yeah, his thumb. His nephew,
Yeah, remember Lucilla has a son who turns out to be Paul Mescal in the
Gladiator
next movie.
2. Yeah,
Right.
at the beginning of the movie, they set up that she has a son and that Russell Crowe has a son. I didn't really remember what happened in the movie. And I was like, I wonder which one of these two kids is going to be Gladiator 2. And I thought I was joking, but then one of them really does turn out to be Gladiator 2. All right.
Yeah.
And the kid is played by Spencer Treat Clark. All right. Who is still acting to this day. This is another Mae Whitman situation.
Hmm.
All right. Remember, Mae Whitman played the little girl,
This
the
is
president's. No, it is not.
Yes, it is. He has to in Independence Day. She just has to pull off a random person. In this movie, Spencer Treat Clark is not pulling off a gladiator. That's fair to recast him.
Listen,
I saw him recently in that uh in a Radcliffe biopic about wasn't he in that? He's not looking like a gladiator these days.
listen.
Who did he play in the biopic?
Mae Whitman was a little girl in Independence Day. All right.
Mm.
And then she grew up into a fine young actress and they recast her in Independence Day Resurgence with some hot blonde girl. All right.
Not just some hot blonde girl.
It is just some hot blonde girl.
No, she's a freaking legend.
Who?
Al
Maika
Yankovic is the weird that movie.
Oh, right. He showed up in that. But anyway, you got the Spencer Treat Clark, the kid from the original Gladiator, still acting to this day.
But he's got to be a gladiator.
Now you're making a whole movie about his character, and this fucker doesn't even show up. I felt terrible for Spencer Treat Clark. If I'm Spencer Treat Clark, I'm killing myself.
Come on. It's his own fault for not being jacked, not being in the MCU, so he could be ready for this role. That's
Is
his own
Paul
fault.
Mescal in the MCU?
No, he's not.
He will be.
He will be. No, I doubt it.
Pascal's about to be.
Is he not already?
He's gonna be
He's in
Mr.
Star Wars.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
Hmm.
yeah.
And you
Um,
know what? Oh, I just realized this. He's Mr. Fantastic, and Human Torch
mm,
is one of those two twins.
true, true. I put it together. They two of the from one guy from Gladiator and one guy from Gladiator 2 were both in that Quiet Place movie, Digimon, and then that other guy, Joseph Quinn.
That's right. Yeah, one of the twins. Wait, is it the same one? Quiet Place 2 guy. He's going to be Human
Torch.
Torch.
That's
Yeah.
right. The
Not
other guy
Quiet
was
Place
White
2. Quiet
Lotus.
Place Day 1.
The guy who gets right, right, right.
Yeah, the other one was in White
He
Lotus.
gets
They're
left
both
behind.
really good, by the way. I loved those
Yeah,
characters. They were fucking hilarious.
absolutely, absolutely. Them and Denzel were by
Oh,
far
that
the
they're the
best part of
reason
the
to watch
movie.
the movie. Like fuck Paul. Paul Mescal's boring as shit in this movie.
Yeah, fair.
Denzel fucking is tearing it up. Like tearing
He's
this.
like,
I
eating people around him.
I was like every line. I was like, "That's how you chose to deliver that line? That's wild." And
Yeah,
it's just every choice is great.
I'm
And
hearing he'll be
then
nominated. Denzel.
I think he should be.
Mhm.
And then you got these two twins, and they're just having the time
And
of their
twins.
lives. Oh my
Yeah.
god, the kid from the White Lotus. Some of his line readings are insane, and they keep cutting to him like he gets disappointed by something, and then they'll cut to him and he's like sitting on a throne, like puffing on like a cigarette or whatever it is back then, an ancient cigarette, and
Hmm.
going like, "Mm, mm." And
Yep.
he's like he's really hamming it up.
He's Joaquin times 20. He's like doing what
Yeah,
Joaquin did, but times a million. Well,
yeah,
there was one
yeah.
part they're standing out there like watching the gladiators, and then like Denzel or Pedro Pascal comes walking in like behind them, and Joseph Quinn like say I'm Joseph Quinn and another guy's right here. Joseph Quinn turns around to look at the entrance, and the other guy like turns the opposite direction. I don't know if people really notice that, but he's like such a moron. He's doing so much in this role though
Yeah.
at all times. They're locked
No,
in. These two, they're so good.
they're Beavis and Butthead. And it's like Butthead is slightly smarter than Beavis. So
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Quinn is Butthead,
Or Dumb and
and then
Dumber.
and the White Lotus guy's Beavis.
Did we ever realize who's dumb and who's dumber? By the way,
No, that's the thing. They're the same amount of dumb.
interchangeable.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair. But all that is the second movie. We're not even to the second movie yet.
Yeah, all right. So what do you want to talk about the first movie?
Proximo basically tells him win over the crowd. If you win the crowd, they'll be on your side and they won't let Joaquin kill you or
That's
Commodus
right.
kill you. Basically,
It's just like wrestling.
just you got to be over.
Yeah. Yeah, he has to get over with the Coliseum audience.
Give them
And
biggest
then
pops they've ever heard.
right. And that'll make him the top guy in the company.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You can call your shots. Do whatever you want.
So he succeeds at that.
He really does.
Yeah. I mean,
Are you not entertained? I guess we should say that. That's a big part of the movie.
yeah, he becomes you know, in many ways, he reigned over Rome,
I don't get it. Oh, Roman Reigns.
just as the top guy in the WWE,
That's
Roman
fair.
Reigns. How
Who do you
about
think?
that?
What wrestler is Crow most like? You think in
Yeah,
this like Stone Cold?
I think Roman.
You think Roman? You
Yeah,
really think
he's
that?
Roman.
I think it's like Stone Cold. Like he hates being
How is
there,
he like Stone
but he has to
Cold?
kick ass.
He doesn't
He's just
drink
like a
beer.
natural,
He's not a
natural.
Texas rattlesnake.
Yeah, he's just like a natural fighter, basically. That's like Stone Cold. That's what I think about with Stone Cold.
Maybe. All right. Uh, what's next?
Uh, I don't know. Commodus is like, is my nephew? Can he take over? Is he strong enough for like when I die? Can I train him? But then his sister doesn't like that they're getting so close, right? And I guess that leads to the next movie where she sends him into hiding because they come after him or whatever.
Have they fucked? It's implied in the second movie, and a couple times maybe in the first
What?
movie.
Who?
Commodus and Lucilla.
Okay.
It's implied, like we only ever see on screen Lucilla turn him down and
Mhm.
like get the fuck off of me. All right, we
Right.
see that scene where he's like sniffing at her neck, and she's like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing?"
And he's like, put my finger in your mouth or whatever.
Yeah, right. Pretty hot actually. And then but it's implied sort of off screen that he's gotten in there a few times.
Yeah. I mean, they led a whole life of being weird up to this moment before she was
Right. Right. Maybe it
could
was when
stand
they
on her
were
own two feet.
young. They
I do feel like
experimented
probably
together as kids.
I do feel like that probably
They
happened.
diddled one another.
Yes. I don't know if we should get into it this movie or the next movie, but it's weird that he has a family, but at the same time his own son was born, he was having another child with another woman.
Well, I don't really believe it.
What do you
Like,
mean you don't believe it? That's fact.
what do you mean it's fact?
In the
Do
next
they
movie, his
in the
father is
second
Maximus.
movie? In the second movie, he is told that his father is Maximus.
And it ends, he's like, talk to me, father. And he's like seeing his dad in the wheat. And it opens, his hand is like he's in the seeds of grain, you know? That opening shot of the
I
movie.
I do not believe that they are blood related.
You can't just not believe that. That's what we're told.
But it doesn't make sense when you look at the first movie. And the first
I
movie is the
know.
primary that's the primary text for me. All right.
That's fair.
Second one is just an extension. So the way I was able to justify it in my head was that like Maximus was the love of Lucilla's life and like a noble person. And so that's who she tells him that his father was, because Maximus was, he cared about him so much more than his actual father,
We never
biological father.
we he just says that he's dead, right? The old dad, guy that
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be the dad. It really raises so many questions. I don't know. I don't even care to really
I
pick
don't
a
believe
lane.
that. You think Maximus was cheating on his
That's
wife
what we're meant to
out
believe
at
in the second
war?
movie. Unless
Like
you're
at
just deciding not to
I mean,
believe it.
I guess like he was like a son to Marcus Aurelius. And if there's one thing about Marcus Aurelius's sons, it's that they love fucking Connie Nielsen.
It's true. So why would he not do it?
So yeah, maybe cold nights away at war, missing the fam. He'll
But
fuck.
it just but it
It was always understood between them. Like when I'm in the afterlife, I'm meeting my family in the wheat field. All right, you are not that, but we could get down right now.
right. But right. But that sort of spits in the face of the first movie because he's all motivated by his family, and
There's
then
a
he's like,
lot in the second movie that spits in the face of the first movie. I always took it in the first movie as at the end of the movie, not only does he get revenge on, for his family, but I feel like he's saving the soul of Rome. Like that's how that first movie ends. It's like we finally get
right.
rid of Commodus as
And then
being,
it's worse in the
and
second one.
and then
Totally.
like the Senate can take over like on behalf of the fucking the people, you know? And but then yeah, in the second movie, it opens with like a Star Wars scroll, and like the first thing we're told is like
Two Commoduses rule.
it's like 15 years later and corruption runs more rampant than ever. And it's like, what? So
Yeah.
like his sacrifice meant nothing.
No, you're totally right. Yeah. Well, those are just the problems with the second movie. It's a problem, but they didn't have to do it. Like they could have gone in different ways. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
really know how to feel about the second movie. Like a lot of it was done well, but some of it's shit, kind of.
it's an entertainment, honestly. Like I think it was pretty fun, but I'll also probably never watch it again.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't think I'll think about it a lot when I watch the first one.
yeah. I think I agree with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still in the first movie. Do we have anything else on the first movie though? Oh, I forgot at the end battle, he stabs him before the battle, and then he's
Oh
like, put
yeah.
the stuff on him, and we'll go
That's
out there and
right.
fight. He's like
Yeah, it's
dying
pretty
throughout
good.
the battle. That's
Yeah, it's like
crazy.
the Montreal screw job. And
Yeah,
but he still wins the title. So fucking it's pretty good, man. I
yeah.
always thought Gladiator was a little overrated in my brain, and I think it's just because it won Best Picture, and people love it. Like I saw on IMDb, it's like the number 34 highest rated movie of all movies,
Wow.
and it's not that good,
It's pretty
guys,
good though. I mean,
but
it's
it is
clean.
pretty good. Like I had it as a 3 on Letterbox, my rating or whatever, and I hadn't seen it since like it came out, basically, and it's definitely a 4.
Defo 4. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's one of the last great like big event movie making uh I, I don't know. I think it's really great. It's clean compared to the second movie, which is like
Yeah.
so convoluted. Like it's so there are just two sides. You love the hero, you hate the villain.
Yeah, it's good storytelling, good big movie storytelling,
Well
Hollywood
executed.
storytelling. Yeah,
Exactly.
and
Easy for.
Ridley nails it. The battle scenes all look good. The fucking
The
the
tiger is cool.
the
All of them.
yeah, and I feel like the special effects are unobtrusive. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can tell sometimes, like, oh, they built out the Coliseum digitally a little bit, but like you're not dwelling on it. Whereas like there were scenes in Gladiator 2 where I'm like, that is just Pedro Pascal standing on an empty set and everything around him is special effects.
Yeah. Well, I gotta be honest. Ever since I saw Avatar 2, no, people should stop trying to CGI water. Like, if you're not James Cameron, don't even do
It
it.
looks horrible. That fucking fight at the beginning of Gladiator 2, like the big boat battle, looks like shit.
Yeah, there were some cool shots where it was like land on one side, water on one side. I was like, oh, that's cool looking, but the water looks bad.
The
You should watch
water, it
We should do Avatar sometime soon because they nail it. They like perfect what water should look like with
oh
CGI.
wow. All
It's
right.
so cool.
It looks like video game water here. I felt
Yeah.
like I was playing Wave Race 64.
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah.
Who should we do MVP, LVP?
It's Russell Crowe. I mean, I love Joaquin Phoenix in this movie. Like, if before rewatching it, if you asked me who the MVP is of Gladiator, I probably would have said Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
But Russell Crowe is such a movie star performance, like next level shit. Like the kind of performance you really don't see in movies a lot,
And I can't
especially
imagine
now.
anyone be like he's perfect. Like this is one of
Yeah,
those roles where I couldn't see anyone else. I said Tom Hardy earlier, but Crow is
like I
nails it.
there was a list of like other people. He was their first choice. Okay,
Mel, I've
Russell
heard
Crowe.
Mel.
Yeah, Crow is their first choice, but they like talked about a few other names if like the studio balked at like is he a big enough name or whatever. And I
Right.
think one of them was Antonio Banderas.
Okay.
And it's like
Zorro.
at least he's more Spanish. He's more of
Yeah,
a
the Spaniard.
Spaniard.
That's
But
true.
like
I think he could have been good.
I don't I but
Not
like
Crow. Not
I
Crow.
cannot imagine another actor playing Maximus.
Yeah, it's true.
He Maximus.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Do we have an
Here,
LVP?
Antonio Banderas, Mel Gibson, and Tom Cruise. Those were the other
Tom
actors.
Cruise.
Imagine Tom Cruise, little Tom Cruise,
That's crazy. That's
striding
the
in.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
He looked tiny beneath all that armor.
Are you not entertained? Like I can't imagine what he would do. Like he would jump on the couch. He would bring out a couch. Are you not entertained? Oh.
Yeah, yeah. All right, where are we?
LVP?
LVP. Yeah. Who's your LVP of Gladiator?
I don't know. Is there an LVP of Gladiator? I think Treat Clark is good. It's instinct to
Oh,
go with the kid.
not yeah. That wasn't who I was thinking of.
I don't know. What do you got? Because I think Nielsen's way better in this one than the second one.
Yeah, no one's really bad. I might. What if I go with Digimon Hansu?
I don't like that.
You don't like it.
No.
I just wasn't super sold on it. Like that whole storyline felt a little shoehorned in.
He's got to have friends.
Does he?
Yeah, you gotta like,
But he's friends with Oliver Reed.
yeah, but you gotta have like the people that are like his peers rooting for him. You know, that makes you
I,
root for him.
I guess so. It's just like they do the same thing in Gladiator 2. It's like let's make him likable, toss in a black friend. They
Who was that in Gladiator 2?
the dude is always stitching him up like after
Oh, the
every
doctor.
battle. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know. Quintus
I don't
Thomas
know.
Arena.
Well, I'll tell you who it's not Gracchus because he's the only other actor besides Connie Nielsen that shows up in the second one. Did you
Derek
fucking
Jacobi.
recognize Gracchus? I was like, Holy
No,
shit, Gracchus, great to see you.
I didn't really recognize him, honestly.
He died in Gladiator 2. I was like, holy shit, they brought back Gracchus to kill him?
That's horrible. It's like they
Yeah.
killed Han Solo. Uh, Treat Clark is not in the second one.
No.
We got like a completely new kid, no deleted scenes. I guess I'm thinking Unbreakable. We had deleted
No, no,
scenes.
no, no. They did that. There's a scene, like a flashback of Connie Nielsen talking to her son, and it's not a flashback from the first movie. Like there are shots of Russell Crowe in Gladiator 2, but
Yeah.
for that they shot a new sequence with Connie Nielsen talking to a different little kid who was supposed to be that kid. And they shot it using the same sort of like color uh what do they call it, like
Color grading.
temperature, like the color
Oh,
temperature
okay.
is the same as when they show like old clips of Russell Crowe in that movie.
But it was a new kid.
Right.
No, okay. I noticed actually not in the first movie, in the second movie, when Crow dies, you can see his heart beating in his neck.
Dude, that death, it is honestly, it reminded me of that scene in Attack of the Clones when Shmi Skywalker dies. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
I love
she goes limp. Yeah. I
yeah.
love
Yeah,
yeah.
it is
So
like that.
yeah, fucking Crow dies that way. He's just sort of like, take care of Lucius. Yeah.
Totally. And you could see his heart beating in his neck if you pay attention to it.
Yeah. Now
So
they might have CGI'd that out. But
no, I saw it in Gladiator 2. I didn't even notice it in Gladiator 1, but in the flashback of Gladiator 2 when they
no,
showed
I
it.
mean that if they shot it now, like
Oh,
they'd
right.
have something
Does
built
Ridley
in.
do that? Like redo his movies? He does a lot of director's cuts.
Yeah, he does do that. I don't think he goes back in and fucks with the effects though and stuff.
On Ross Flicks, I was gonna go watch Napoleon on Ross Flicks. He has like the 3 hour and 45 minute director's cut on there. I was like, no way am I watching this version. I watched the 2.5 hour version instead.
Yeah, I don't. I loved Napoleon. I still don't want to see that shit.
That's freaking crazy. But
Mhm.
anyway, is that Gladiator? Did we do
That's
it?
Gladiator. It's good.
Yeah, great movie, Gladiator.
Yeah,
Honestly, I loved it.
yeah. All right, so let's move on to Gladiator 2.
Aye,
All
aye.
right, good job. Actually, on screen when they showed the title, it was like Gladiator.
Glad I ate her. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like Scriforum, one of those.
Right, right. Um, so Ridley's back. He's just gonna, I'll direct again. Yeah, he always wanted to. All right, they first announced in 2001 that they were gonna do a Gladiator sequel. John Logan was gonna write it, and it was literally gonna be about like Maximus getting resurrected.
Oh wow.
Dude, let me read you this because this is what I remembered. And so this is what I was sort of expecting this movie to be. In 2006, Nick Cave, the
Okay.
musician Nick Cave, wrote a draft of Gladiator 2. All right. And they were going to make it into a movie. And I remember reading about this script on the
Mm-hmm.
internet and it sounded like the craziest fucking thing ever. And so I looked it up. I found a breakdown of the script.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what it is. The story involved Maximus in purgatory. All right, he's dead. He's in
Mm-hmm.
purgatory. He's resurrected as an immortal warrior for the Roman gods. All right. Maximus is sent back to Earth and tasked with ending Christianity by killing Jesus and his disciples
Whoa.
because the rise of Christianity is draining the power of the ancient Roman gods. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a tale.
So, yeah, it's got Maximus. He's got to kill Jesus. During his mission, Maximus is tricked into murdering his own son.
No, no.
All right. Then, cursed to live forever, Maximus fights in the Crusades, World War II, and the Vietnam War. It's sort of like Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly
And
like that.
yeah, and then the ending reveals that in the present day, the character Maximus now works at the Pentagon. All right.
Okay.
Maybe he gets killed on 9/11 or something.
I'm
I
sure
don't
this was
know.
after 9/11.
Yeah. But that is that could have been a movie.
Yeah, that's like 8 movies since then that have happened, all rolled into one movie.
So crazy. All right. So then it kind of goes away for a while. I think DreamWorks was having some like money problems. They sold the rights to Gladiator to Paramount. And
Hmm.
Paramount was like, well, we'll just have the rights to Gladiator. We don't need to make a sequel. But
Yeah.
then
I watched
years
Gladiator
later,
on Paramount Plus.
there
So
you
shout out
go.
to them for having it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Mm-hmm.
I had the Blu-ray, but I don't. I don't know what happened there. I thought that was one that I had.
So yeah, they make it this year. It just came out November 22nd, 2024. I
Hmm.
think it's been in active development though since like 2018 or something. They've been dancing around it. Um, huge.
Wasn't Barry Kogan supposed to be on it at one point?
Yes, at one point Barry Cogan was supposed to play the Joseph Quinn part,
Yeah, okay.
but he had to drop out because filming conflicted with Saltburn.
Wow, that long ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably made the right
Um,
choice. That made him a freaking sensation. I got him
yeah.
in a relationship with Sabrina
No, I
Carpenter.
mean in this one he's only like he'd be like the sixth lead or
He would have
something.
nailed it though. He would have
He
done
would have
really
been great.
well.
He would have been great.
But
Yeah,
yeah, Colt Quinn's great too.
yeah.
He probably made the
So
right choice though, is what I'm saying.
I for himself he made the right choice, even though I think Gladiator 2 is a better movie than Saltburn. Um, so, Ridley brings in his own writers. Like fuck those other guys that wrote that last movie. He's been working with this fella David Scarpa. Scarpa wrote All the Money in the World and Napoleon for him, so he brings in
Not
Scarpa to
Gucci.
write Gladiator 2. No, then Peter Craig is the other guy. I think he wrote an earlier draft. Um, the budget has been disputed.
Hmm.
All right, like Ridley says it was close to 200 million. Others, the studio says it was more like 250. And then there are some analysts that say no, it ballooned. It shit went up to 310.
310. I can
Yeah,
see that. I can definitely see that.
yeah.
So many monkeys and
So
sharks.
many cartoon animals in this movie. It's wild. It's like a
Yeah.
live action Madagascar. And so it's somewhere between that. Like we don't know the real
Yeah,
answer.
between 200 and 310.
I always think though, like when you're hearing the studio say one number and then analysts are saying the number is bigger, they're probably right.
The
Like the
analysts,
studio is probably trying to like
they have incentive to lie. The analysts have no reason to lie.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I think it's closer to 300 than anything.
Yeah. So far it was greenlit though at $165 million. Like that's how much it went over
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
Um, so far it's made 226.1 million at the box office. Honestly, really good. And it's doing even better overseas than it is here. I think it'll make its money back. It's going to be a hit. They're talking Gladiator 3 already.
Really? Gladiator
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
You have to think in the moment when you're making it, it's going to be huge, but you can't anticipate Wicked coming out the same week, right?
Right.
That's not good.
But they liked that Wicked was coming out the same week. Cuz
Glicked.
yeah,
They've been
they've
doing.
they've been trying to make Barbenheimer happen again.
Yeah, didn't work for
And
me. I only saw. By the way, we didn't
no,
talk about what we're doing next week. Is that what we're doing next week?
what?
Wizard of Oz?
No, that was just something I floated. I don't want to go
What
see
are we
Wicked in
doing next?
theaters.
I guess we'll break. We'll stop at the end and talk about it because we
Yeah,
didn't do
yeah.
that at the beginning.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing next week. Shit. I haven't thought about it at all.
I have my list we can go to later on.
I want to do Police Academy. Should we
I
do Ernest?
think we should do another one thing and then let the person decide.
Okay.
Oh, but we do have no next week. We have to do Christmas. Is that what
Yeah.
we're doing? Ernest for Christmas?
Do you want to do Ernest?
I don't care about Ernest. I don't care either way. Like I have no relationship to Ernest. If you want to do Ernest, we can do Ernest.
I would love it.
Do you know how it would break down? We can figure this out at the end though.
There's so many Ernest movies, dude.
Are there not a big Christmas franchise you haven't done?
I don't know.
Why'd they never do Elf 2? Such a big mistake by them.
So there's 9 Ernest movies.
Okay.
The last 3 are all direct to video, so we could do that as one episode.
There are 5 Tuesdays in December, so we'll have 5 weeks of it.
All right. Well, we'll 1, 2, 3. We'll only do 4 weeks of Ernest.
Okay. And
We
then
could do something else. We could do a one-off Christmas thing for the other week.
at the start or the end?
The end.
Okay. Or that could be a New Year's thing because it's on New
Yeah,
Year's, New
maybe.
Year's Eve.
Sadly,
Anyway,
they never made 201 cigarettes.
or New Year's Day. They only made New Year's Eve, didn't they?
That's right.
That sucks.
All right, so Gladiator 2. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. As you said, the Star Wars crawl comes on. We have new rulers. These guys, wait, what are their names?
I don't remember. Beavis and Butthead.
Oh wait, I'm on the Gata and Caracalla.
Yeah, Gata. There's a character in Battlestar Galactica named Gata. So when they said that name in the movie, I was like, I wonder if Battlestar was making like a Roman Empire reference.
Yeah, I think absolutely they were doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, and yeah, so Pedro Pascal is now like the new Maximus. He's like the new emperor guy, or not new emperor, the new like general guy leading the
yeah, yeah.
army. But
He's
he
running the
doesn't.
army.
Yeah, but he doesn't get turned into a slave gladiator at any point. He just gets to live his life until he doesn't.
And
But
he's out there fucking Lucilla. All right. So Lucilla is just like through the ages, no matter how old or young she is, she's like, I'm gonna fuck whoever's in charge of the army.
it's a great point. Yeah, she's a gold digger, basically, we could call her. And
I don't Valor Digger.
yeah, yeah. And she's the so that makes him the stepfather of Paul Mescal, right?
Yeah.
That's his mom, and she's now with this guy.
But he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that.
He's fighting not even on the Roman side. He's fighting against the Romans.
Well, yeah, he left. He had to leave when he was a kid. We don't. Where
Yeah.
he's at? I think I wrote it down. Some place. Numidia. That's the name of his place.
Right, which struck me as like an African place or something. So I thought they were, but there was really only like 1 or 2 black guys in that army.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to take that up with them. I don't really. I
Yeah.
can't answer to that.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah. So Paul Mescal, his name is Hanno, but really
Yeah.
Lucius is his real name. But his wife
Right.
dies. That was sad.
Well,
Made me cry.
when they chant his name in the Coliseum, I know, I know, I know.
I never heard that. I've heard Hannah for a girl, never Hanno for a boy.
Maybe that was a thing.
Well, it definitely was because A is the feminine and O is the masculine, right?
Yeah.
So I think any name that ends with an A, Sarah, got to be the boy version.
Sarah.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna name my kid Sarah. All right. So next up, what happens next? I don't remember. Oh, the
Oh,
big attack. Wife
right.
dies.
Wife died, blah, blah,
He
blah. He
gets
finds
taken
her
to
body.
baboons. He has to fight some baboons.
No. Right, right. That's the minor leagues. He gets gladiator just like his father before him. And then he first fights in the gladiator minor leagues against cartoon monkeys. I loved the shot of the cartoon monkeys like before they let them out, where it was just like they like the camera cuts into like the monkey enclosure,
Hmm.
and it's just like they're showing how wild the monkeys are, and one of the monkeys goes to the camera.
Yeah, that was nice. And so we fight them. He bites one of them, and they're like, "Oh, this one's good.
This guy's good.
Let's
Yeah,
get this guy."
let's call him up out of NXT and bring him onto the main roster. And so he does,
Hmm.
just like Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
He
exactly my thought.
and
And then I fight a big rhino, and they're like, "Whoa, he really has got it. He's got the goods."
that was when he wanted a rhino in the first movie.
Oh shit.
And they couldn't budget it, and so he was like, well, fuck it, baby, I'm rhinoing the shit out of this second movie.
Yeah, I know how to
Yeah.
work CGI now.
Right. So he's got a big cartoon rhino in there. There's so much CGI, and you could really see the seams. Like I was able to like shot for shot know exactly like what's CGI and what's not. Like a lot of
Yeah.
times, like the crowd in the background is CGI, and it's like there's so little that's actually shot anymore.
I like the one where they're fighting in the like it's like Lucius versus Pedro Pascal. What's Pedro Pascal's name?
It must be so
Acacius.
much easier to make movies now.
Yeah, you don't have to try it all.
Yeah,
If you fuck something up, you're just like, we'll just fix it.
yeah.
Who cares? What's a reshoot?
It doesn't take anything. I feel like I could probably direct a big budget movie now.
Yeah, as long as you have a team around you that knows what they're doing.
Like literally, like I couldn't have made Evil Dead. You could have given me $100 million budget. I never could have made Evil Dead. But
$100
if you want
million.
me to direct a Marvel movie today, don't even worry about it. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, give me a green screen,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I don't really know. Uh, Acacius. Oh, I liked when they were fighting in the room. Like there's like they're fighting like the big dining hall or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
It's
What
like one
happened?
of the non-animal fight scenes. I don't know. They're fighting like up in the. There's like a table.
Oh, it's like it was sort of like his practice, like or like his audition. They were like, we're thinking of calling this guy up to the majors, so they like bring in one of their dudes. He's like a big guy, and they're
Yeah.
like, fight this guy, see how it goes. And
Yes.
yeah, he like takes a vase off of a table and like hits him in the head with it and shit. I was like, that. There's no way that went down in like Rome. Like, there's no way like the fucking slaves were breaking shit from tables and like the king was okay with it, like, oh, ingenuity. No,
He's telling them to fight to the death. You can't judge them for using the
I think
surrounding equipment.
you can they're slaves, all right, I could judge
Hey,
them
hey,
all I
don't use
want.
the vase. No vase. You can do that.
Yeah, 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 that's my vase.
Wow. That's fucked up then. I
Yeah,
mean, he's the ruler making these. I mean, he is fucked up, but I don't
I
like
don't
that.
think they'd even be in the vicinity of a vase to grab it.
Well, then you'd have to like move everything out of the room.
They'd just be in the center area. There must be like a little fight circle.
I think this was like a sudden thing though. Like they weren't planning on it, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, fight! We're gonna do a fight right now. You versus
Yeah,
you."
I guess so.
Can't clear the room like that quickly.
Maybe.
But then we learned the backstory. We sent Lucius into hiding. He became Hanno, whatever. Um, and Denzel's awesome. He has a lot of rings, right? Like he has a ring on every finger. He's always like clinging them together and stuff.
Yeah, he's playing a little bit of feet, a little bit, a little gay.
Yeah, a lot of people
Uh,
have been saying he's a great bisexual actor in this.
well, he had a gay kiss that they cut out of the movie. People
Oh
were
shit,
were saying that.
Ridley. Why'd you do
Yeah,
that? He's
he's a
homophobic.
little Ridley's a little conservative.
Yeah, you gotta think.
Yeah.
Uh, Remember when Steven Spielberg gave Twisters the note to cut out the kiss at the end of that movie? That
Hmm.
was weird. I don't know why
Yeah.
they did that. I still wish I
Yeah.
saw that kiss.
Look, it's
Oh
made of
wow,
rubber. Made of
wow,
rubber.
wow. Mine, hey, Daniel, mine's bigger. Mine's bigger than yours.
Oh, yeah.
uh, so then we fight some sharks. That was awesome.
we do.
Straight up.
We fight some fucking shark. It was like it reminded me of, like, the Kennel and Hell match, man, where like Big Boss Man wrestled the Undertaker. They just had like dogs around them,
What the hell?
but like the dogs weren't really doing anything. Like they were supposed to like bite him, but it was like, oh,
They could get
but
hurt. What if you tombstone on top of the dog?
it was ridiculous. But like the sharks didn't do much. But then like they would throw
What?
a dude in.
There was blood
It,
all over the place.
that's what I'm saying. They threw a guy into the water who was bleeding, and then the sharks just like jumped at that.
Yeah, yeah. But there were
Yeah.
a lot of sharks. It's a good question how they get the sharks. I didn't really think about that. But there
Yeah,
were a lot
I
of
was
sharks.
thinking about the process of transporting the sharks
Yeah.
from the ocean to the Colosseum, and then where were they stored in the Colosseum before we flooded it with water?
Well, I think it's pre-flooded. We get it set before we bring them in, right? we can't like bring them in before it's ready to go. That's just poor planning.
Then where are we keeping them?
Uh,
Is there
I
like an
don't know.
enormous fucking shark tank somewhere?
This isn't a thing that the Romans really did, right?
No, this is nonsense.
Shark
This is
Tank.
absolute nonsense.
I can imagine them doing the monkeys and tigers.
No, I think the tiger thing and the rhinos, like that's really taken. Like they did that.
Sharks was just cool thought they had.
Yeah, sharks is like,
That
what else
was
can
a
we do? What? Whoa, let's go
Peter Craig
water
original
battle.
or David
Yeah,
Scarpa
maybe.
original.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I loved the final battle, Lucius versus Denzel Macrinus. That was cool. Fight him,
How did it
kill
end? I don't
Denzel.
even remember.
We killed Denzel, and then he's like, now Pedro Pascal's like the ruler of Rome, I think. And then he says, like, talk to me, father. And then it ends on the wheat. We see the wheat field.
Mescal, not Pascal.
Oh, yeah. Their names are too similar.
Pascal gets killed.
Their names are too similar. My bad.
Yeah.
Paul
What about
Mescal.
that part where like they bring Paul Mescal to like a little area and it's like a this was Maximus's it's like a little museum exhibit about Maximus. And
Yeah.
it's like this was your dad. And it's like in a hidden compartment of the Colosseum. And it's like earlier in the movie
It's the Hall of Fame.
but it's not. We see the Hall of Fame earlier in the movie, and Maximus's name is scratched out.
Yeah.
Like we no longer acknowledge Maximus in
But the
Roman
wife
history at
does.
this point. But but
She still loves him.
but if like all of Rome doesn't acknowledge Maximus, then like how is this exhibit? That's why it was hidden, I guess. But like
Mm-hmm.
who knows about it? That
The
was
wife.
so dumb. But like it's whatever.
Yeah. I didn't really. I kind of forgot about that, honestly.
Mm.
But I didn't love any of the scenes with Connie Nielsen and Paul Mescal. They were so boring, I thought.
Yeah, me too. I like the scene where she like goes to visit him like in his dressing room before the fight,
Okay.
and she's just like, "He was your dad" and shit. I don't know.
It was
Nothing
too
really
boring.
clicked for me there. I Connie Nielsen might be my LVP of this movie.
Yeah, I didn't want to go with her in the first one, but I think that she has to be here for me.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know. Is there anything else? I mean, I feel like we talked about it a lot in the first one. You know,
yeah, we did. We've been talking about it throughout, I suppose. But
did any
you
other
know,
actors stand out? Who's
no,
Peter Mensa? Who's he?
I don't know. Denzel and the twins were the best part. That
Yeah,
part where Denzel convinces the one
oh,
twin to kill the other twin,
cuts his
and
head
then
off.
not only that, but like like he convinces like the he wants to kill his brother now, and then like they're struggling and he's got like the knife to his neck, and then Denzel pops up behind him. He's like, "Let me help you out. I'll do the final bit." Um,
Yeah,
it's so I wasn't even sure if he was there literally. Like it's like is he just imagining like Denzel like
no,
fucking
that's real.
yeah. It was so funny
And then when he
though.
has the head and he puts it on the thing and he's like talking to people, like pointing
And
the
he's
head at the
spinning it
people.
around and I was just imagining like the Foley people because every time he spins the head a little bit, you hear like a little more like squelching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's good stuff. Denzel fucking tears it up. He's one of the greatest actors of all time.
All time.
Mm,
You only hear hot takes like that on the franchise.
that's right.
Denzel, great actor.
Right.
He, I honestly, acting got to be hard. Like, imagine watching Denzel. You got to keep a straight face that whole time. You're like watching this guy just like turn this fucking head and talk to you with it, and you're sitting there in the crowd like you got to just watch him and not
Well,
laugh and love it.
I've said this before this anecdote. I love that Ethan Hawke said leading up to training day he said he watched other Denzel Washington movies like it's game film.
Yeah,
Like
you
he
got to
had to
prepare for
prepare
Denzel.
to be in scenes with Denzel. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Denzel has been going on a press tour talking very highly about Paul Mescal. Like Paul Mescal like taught me a lot about how to be a great actor.
I don't
Like,
doubt that
wow,
Paul Mescal knows what he's doing, but I just don't think he's got the star power to be
there's a
Gladiator.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
There
a
is
great
a
actor though.
difference.
Mescal's a
Yeah,
great
no, no,
actor.
I'm excited to see where his career goes. I mean, he's very talented guy, but
Mm-hmm.
he didn't do it for me in this. He's no Russell Crowe.
No, Russ. Have you seen Normal People? Is that a thing that you've done?
I haven't.
I gotta do that.
My mom loves it.
Really?
Yeah,
I think I'll check that out because I loved the
it's
girl
on
too.
my list.
You didn't like her.
I think the normal people guy, like the guy that did the TV show, made a movie or something that I was into.
Oh,
And so I added it to my watch. Oh, you know who it is? It's Lenny Abrahamson directed a lot of the episodes, and I'm really into his movies.
what did he do?
Room and Frank
Oh yeah.
and what Richard did and Adam and Paul. He's made a bunch of like little tiny Irish movies, but
Okay.
Room was his big break. Anyway, um, what do you give it?
I will give. I don't know honestly. I kind of want to give it a two.
I think like I'm between a 2 and a 3.
In my ranking, it's like right between the twos and the threes.
The filmmaking is frustrating. Like the level of the CGI in the movie makes me want to give it a 2.
That, along with the fact that it fucks the first movie a little bit.
I
All the
know,
stuff that it takes back of the first movie.
but at the same time, like Denzel and the twins and some of the
It
fight
is entertaining.
scenes, it I are you not entertained? I was. I admit it.
I
I
was
am
entertained.
entertained. I was entertained. And so like once he becomes the gladiator, like all when the war stuff at the beginning is done with,
Mm.
I really think it's a fun movie. And it's 2.5 hours and I didn't really feel sick of it by the end of it. Like
No,
I so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 3.
I like it. Definitely between the two. But the
Mhm.
CGI mixed with like he had a kid like before he had
I
like the other.
know.
It's so weird to me.
There's some frustrating shit that's hard to get
And
past.
the fact you're right, we closed the movie on such a high note, and then we're like back to ground zero,
Right.
two Commoduses. It's like, oh fuck. Uh, so yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's clearly between it's like a 2.5 star movie. But,
Yeah.
so MVP, LVP, MVP is Denzel. My LVP is Connie Nielsen.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, sorry to them. And what else do? We read from the Patreon.
Oh yeah. What do we have comments?
We do. Uh, comment this like Commodus.
Very good.
Anyway, William Anastasio says Gladiator is a movie that is always an easy rewatch or a go-to classic to have on in the background while you're doing laundry or dishes on a weekend afternoon. I love the
Mm.
score and I constantly listen to it while working. By no means a perfect
Really?
movie. I think it's an epic movie with a great performance from Crow. Hard to deny any of that. Yeah. The score I thought was very Pirates of the Caribbean, and then I looked
I
it up. Yeah.
no, no, go ahead.
This guy, I forget who did it now. Who
James Horner did the original.
of what? This movie?
Yeah.
Uh he did not do the original Pirates movie, but he did like all the sequels. So I'm not sure if
Oh,
they were like, let's get him on because he can do that thing. But they're very similar at certain points.
I actually wasn't into the score at first. I was like, I thought the score would be better. And but then like when that big theme, that memorable theme comes up like during triumphant parts, I'm like, oh, that's pretty kick ass.
Yeah, and especially the score during the end, the like the wheat score, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's
Over the
beautiful.
credits, I
Yeah.
love that. That's great. That might be what he's talking about because that's really good. And then he
Mhm.
says, just saw Gladiator 2 last night. After sleeping on it, I think it's a solid 3. While a step down from the first in the context of a franchise, it accomplishes what it sets out to do. It pays homage to the first with some dialogue and score, adds to the lore of the characters, and incorporates new action sequences. Mescal is good, but I don't think he had the charisma of a full blown movie star like Crow had.
Charisma. That's what he's lacking.
That's what I'm lacking because I've gone freaking weeks without Angel. Am I right?
Jesus Christ.
I like him more in lived in roles like After Sun or Normal People. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people, that's
Yeah.
the takeaway.
Hmm.
But I think he could do it. Maybe he's a little young.
Let's see him in something modern.
Because Crow was like 36 in Gladiator. Paul Mescal's like 27, 28. I think he could age into the role. Maybe wrong timing. It's not his fault. Maybe I don't know. Uh, like if they made Gladiator during Virtuosity, I'm not sure if Crow could have pulled it off. You got to age into the role, you know. But
Yeah. Crow got acted under the table by Denzel in that movie.
oh,
Just
disagree. I disagree.
oh, you're right. Crow actually is
He's like the
really fun in
Joker
that
in that
movie.
movie.
Yeah, he's serial killer or whatever.
He's awesome.
Mm.
Um, thank you, William. Oh, so the person who won our little contest thingy, I'm not sure if it was a contest, but I said if we got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, then you can comment and you can possibly win to choose a franchise. And so earlier before the episode, Daniel and I went through and we picked one of these 8 people, and the winner was, drum roll, please.
Nolan Rossiter, longtime listener, N Rossi, on social media, I think. But I love Nolan Rossiter, so I'm happy he won. It was totally random. Like he assigned 8 numbers and he said pick 1 to
If you don't
8.
trust us, I can send you the video where we
We literally recorded it just in case you guys like doubt us.
yeah.
Um,
You better not have doubt like Meryl Streep, or
mm,
I'll be pretty pissed off.
yeah, you were pretty mad about that. So
Oh,
we're gonna do Ernest, and then Nolan will pick the franchise after Ernest.
into the
All
new
right,
year, the first franchise of the new year. We'll go with
right,
Nolan.
right. So are you guys ready for Ernest?
I
There's
am.
there's not 9 Ernest movies.
So does that mean Ernest won next week?
Well, yes, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Ernest movies. So we'll do 2 next week, 2 the following week, 2 the third week, and then 3 the last week with all the direct to video ones.
Okay.
Um, so next week we're kicking it off. This will be our Christmas episode because the second Ernest movie is Ernest Saves Christmas. So it's Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Saves Christmas next week on the
Oh,
franchise.
that's I don't like doing
Hey,
Christmas at the start.
hey, Vern. Hey, hey, Vern. That's something he does.
Do you have a
Calls on
favorite
screen at
going in?
Vern. Jail is my favorite. That'll be in week 2.
Okay.
All right, here's the breakdown. For week 1 is gonna be Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Saves Christmas. Week 2, Ernest Goes to Jail and Ernest Scared Stupid.
Mm,
Week 3, Ernest Rides Again and Ernest Goes to School. I've never
okay.
seen any of these. I've only seen the first 4, I think.
All right.
And then the final week is Slam Dunk Ernest. Ernest Goes to Africa, which does feature Ernest in blackface,
Oh my
and
god.
Ernest in the army.
Slam Dunk Ernest sounds fucking epic.
Well,
I
I mean,
can't
a basketball movie for
I
you,
can't wait
Logan.
for that.
Yeah,
And then Ernest like not being the first word is interesting. They're like
that's
really taking
true.
some
That's the
creative
only
differences on
one.
that
It's the
one.
only one. Yeah, maybe Slam
That
Dunk
excites
Ernest
me.
is going to be the real experiment of the
I
franchise.
think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Like with Airbud, you think Airbud would
Kareem
pop in?
Abdul-Jabbar's in
Holy shit.
it.
He wrote an episode of Veronica Mars. Have you ever seen that
I
episode?
believe he wrote 2 to 3 episodes of
Oh my
Veronica
god.
Mars. Yeah, of
What if he's
course.
like one of the best writers of that show?
He's pretty good. He wrote a column in I want to say Entertainment Weekly that I used to read.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
used to
know.
be like a critic type thing a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Anyway, so that's next week. Ernest, what are the ones I said?
Oh, I don't
Camp.
remember.
Fuck.
The
Ernest
first
Goes to
two.
Camp and Ernest Saves Christmas. That's next week on the franchise. All right. In the meantime, we've got Buffy later this week. We've got we're kicking off season 4 of Angel. We've got Hey, I'm Watching Here coming soon. And we're really digging deep into season 26 of Big Brother on Comp B.
Oh
So
yeah.
a lot of shows coming your way. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Eat some turkey, eat some
Gobble
stuffing,
gobble.
eat some cranberry sauce. Think about how we slaughtered the indigenous.
Watch
And
some football.
watch some football, watch some dog show. watch some parade. Okay.
And then you can put up your tree, according to Daniel's rules.
According to my rules, you can then put up your tree as soon as you see Santa Claus in the parade. That's
Yeah.
your signal.
All right,
Okay.
guys. That'll be very
Yeah.
exciting.
All right. So jingle bells, jingle all the way. Um, are you not entertained?